to Sicko Mode by Travis Scott. And before we begin, I really quick want to say that the next album reaction is coming up. It is finished. It's actually already been uploaded. I'm just sorting out some copyright issues. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it should be coming out next week without me having to cut anything. And let me just tell you, it's a doozy. 2.5 hours long. It's from a fantastic album. And it was such a good time. As a matter of fact, I might even have cried a little bit throughout the video. So you can be looking forward to that. But before then, we'll be looking at this song with 2 billion plays, again, by Travis Scott. Called Sicko Mode, that I heard was supposed to be real fucking good. And it apparently does a whole lot of really cool shit. And I'm excited. And, you know, I found lyrics. So why don't we just step right in? Alright. And then drums? No? Okay. So we're starting straight into this very... almost a little bit... like... Ooh. That's cool. So we're hopping straight into this somewhat like off-putting beat, but in a good way, right? Or not beat, sorry, like melody, where we've got like... I don't know what those intervals are because my pitch is not very good, but we're essentially just going like la da da da, but in like fairly far apart, which gives it that off-putting sound. And then we're releasing, or we're not releasing, we're building tension.
Astro.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is very cool. Alright.
Sun is down, freezing cold.
And we're adding in like a bass in the background here as you're saying sun is down. Like on sun. Just listen to the like do.
Sun is down, freezing cold.
And it's moving down.
We already know when it's here. My dog will probably do it for
in half steps, I think.
That's just all he know, he don't know nothing else. I tried.
Ooh, and then it changes, it goes into like a doo-doo-doo type of riff. So the half steps here, I don't know if they're half steps. I think they're half steps. Again, my pitch is not very good, but half steps is like the shortest interval that we have in the Western music, which is just like, I'll show you. It's it's not attached to anything right now, but a half step is like if this is an E. No, that's not an E. This is an E. There we go. I'm not a pianist. I'm a guitarist. If this is an E, this is a D sharp, and there is a half step between these two. And when you play these two notes, it gives this really like off-putting vibe. If you know the Jaws theme, da 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 da, or do 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 do, that is a half step. Same thing with the introduction to Release. That's like da 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 do. That da 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 is also a half step. I think that's what the bass is doing.
Sun is down,
there.
Freezing cold. That's how we already know.
Cool.
When it's
Cool
here,
stuff.
my dog will probably do it for Louis Bell. That's just all he know, he don't know nothing else. I tried to show him.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is very...
I tried to show him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the I don't know what this is technically. It sounds like some sort of drum, but it's like tonal.
Yeah.
It's both acting as percussion, but also leading us into this, where we have a more standard. What? Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice what happened. But it leads us into this. Okay.
This here with all the ice on in the booth. At the gate outside, when they pull up, they give me loose. Yeah, jump out, boys. That's Nike boys hopping our coast.
So now all of a sudden, we have this borderline trap-esque beat. Cool. So I'm sorry, we're just stopping at random places, trying to pick apart just something about what's happening here. So we've got this really jagged rhythm where that dong dong is almost acting like a kick drum. It's like a typical thing that you do if you want like a lot of power in your like drumming, is you delay the kick a little bit. So that's something that, for instance, happens in Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit. The drums there are slightly delayed, or the kick is slightly delayed, which adds more like oomph to the kick, right? It feels like it's almost doing this here, where it's doing this like. It's like dun, 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 instead of just. It's a cool way of like adding more tension. And then this like these sound effects are being shot in like from the right, moving towards the left in the ears. That's real cool. Okay. And now we're singing. What? And we're to say that to win the retreat, we're all in too deep. We're dragging away everything else to really pull everyone's attention in on the voice, which also has had a lot of effects added to it. Cool. To win the retreat, we all in too deep. Plan for keeps, don't play us for weak. To win the retreat, we all in too deep. What? And then this fucking the weak is just jumping like from left to right to left to right. It's like a damn ping pong table. This is really cool. Why does this have 2 billion plays? This feels way too. This doesn't feel very radio friendly. This shit way too formal, y'all know I don't follow suit. Stacy Dash, most of these girls ain't got a clue. All of these hoes I made off records I produce. I might take all my exes and put them all in a group. Hit my essays, I need the booch. About to turn this function into Bonnaroo. Told her hop in, you coming too. In the 305, bitches treat me. Ooh, that was cool. So previously in this song and in many other songs, rappers will do this thing where, and it's just as rappers, but rappers will do this thing where they like draw out everything from everything else except for the rap to highlight the vocals. And he's done this earlier. That's what happened with a weak thing, right? But here, he does something slightly different. He lulls you into like a false sense of security where you think that's what's gonna happen, but then instead, like in the 305, and then on 5 we should go straight back into that. That's such a cool way to create like a rhythm. She thought it was the ocean, it's just a pool. Wow. Now I gotta open, it's just a ghost. Who put this shit together? I'm the glue. Someone said. This is so cool. So I read in a comment, someone said that Travis Scott used to produce for Kanye West, which makes sense to me because this is a very similar thing to something that happens in Blood on the Leaves, in the breakdown for that one. But what the fuck, man? Just listen. Now I gotta open, it's just a ghost. Who put this shit together? I'm the glue. Someone said. Shorty face, Tommy out the blue. Someone said. This is so weird. Someone said. I'd like to watch some live recordings of Travis Scott. How do you all feel about that? Would you want to see a reaction to some of his live music? Because this seems like a really cool song to see live. Oh? And then we're going into this creepy thing again. That sounds a little bit similar to what was it called? It was another Travis Scott song that I covered at one point and not too long ago, which I wasn't too fussed on. Goosebumps, yeah, it sounds somewhat similar to the Goosebumps rap thing. Not the rap, but like the beat, in the sense that it's got this like really weird and slightly not off-putting, but like just slightly creepy like quality to it. Wow. Okay. All right. She's in love with who I am. Back in high school, we got strings and more of a soft piano to lead us into this. It's also a fun way to rap when you say it's like a light like the it almost it sounds like someone who's like a little insecure, I guess. Like if you've ever seen like a new stand-up comic or someone who like goes on stage and who isn't too comfortable going on stage to like speak, and you speak but the air you just got off on a wrong breath and you aren't able to get your voice out. It almost sounds like intentionally, obviously, like something along those lines. It's cool. Okay.
Cut the lights, yeah. Pay the price, yeah. Niggas think it's sweet. It's on sight.
It's cool.
Nothing nice, yeah.
But
Vegas in my eyes. Jesus Christ, yeah. Checks over stripes, yeah. That's what I like. Yeah. That's what we like.
I mean, it's a cool song. But I'm starting to get worried that it's not really gonna go anywhere. But it's definitely cool.
Wet like on Lizzie. I be spinning valley circle blocks till I'm dizzy. Like where is he? No one's seen him.
I don't get any of the lyrics. I don't really get what it's about, but from what I hear, it's also not really the point of Travis Scott's music. It's less the lyrics and more the experience of listening. Okay. And we're back to the piano section that was slightly weird. Okay. I still don't get why this is so popular. Can someone explain, like, has this just been played at a lot of clubs or something? About to check, just check the foots, pass this to my daughter, I'ma show her what it took. Baby mama cover Forbes, got these other bitches shook, Okay. Okay. Aggressive. This... Okay, it goes straight into another song. This was a cool song. I definitely enjoyed it. I will say that, like, I'm a little disappointed in just the way all the beat changes were handled. I like when beats change and they develop. It's something I talk about a lot, and it's one of my biggest like criticisms of a lot of rap artists I've covered so far, is that their beats don't change a whole lot. So I would definitely like commend him on that. That's impressive, or cool that he's gone into it. However, it can't just change for the change of changing, I feel. It also has to be somewhat purposeful. And my worry is that I think there were like 3 or 4 like major changes of like tonality almost in this song. And when you do that, and they're not in the way that it's done here, and it's only in a 5-minute song, you don't really get the chance to develop many of the ideas. And I think that's like, when I say that I want things to change, I don't necessarily want them to change as much as I want them to develop. That's like a primary factor and really cool thing in music, is that when you're able to do this like repetition and development of things, right? Whereas this felt more just like repetition and changing, I guess. But it was cool. It was definitely a good song. I just wish he had dedicated a bit more time and maybe cut down a little bit on the changes. So he dedicated a bit more time to actually just developing on the cool ideas that were there. Because right now it just feels like 4 or 5 different ideas smashed together that work. It's not like it doesn't work. It's got 2 billion plays, right? But it could have worked better, I feel. So I'm gonna give that like a solid like B. It could definitely rise in the ranks and become really great if these things were changed, in my opinion. But as it stands right now, it's just cool. It's fine. It's definitely like, yeah, acceptable. Anyway, if you like this video, why don't you leave a like and write a comment? I'd like to get some more suggestions also, because I'd like to check out like a Travis Scott album. Might just do Rodeo at some point. And fear not, very soon the next full album reactions coming out, and I'll give you one hint. It's a Kanye album. And with that, all the stuff to say is that I hope that you have a very nice day. Bye bye.